CIO Whisper. While exploring AI in healthcare, I came across a fascinating and controversial case, IBM Watson for oncology. The more I read, the more I realized this isn't just a story about AI. It's a leadership case study. Watson for oncology was never meant to fail. Not in the eyes of those who built it. It was meant to save lives, change medicine, become a doctor's best ally. Hospitals welcomed it. Newsrooms praised it. Patients began to believe. A new era had arrived, or so it seemed. But behind every line of code were real patients, real doctors, real hopes. And when the system faltered, it wasn't just a glitch. It was a matter of life or death. Tilde 3.5 sec. This story is a dramatized reconstruction. It is inspired by real-world events and decisions in the AI healthcare domain. Names, interfaces, and identities have been fictionalized to maintain privacy and legal clarity. The intention is to reflect learnings, not to assign blame. The promise felt almost divine. Watson would read 25 million medical papers. In seconds, cure rates would soar. Doctors would be guided by the most advanced brain ever built. Patients would live longer. Families would hope again. AI is changing lives. Some forever. Stay with us as the truth unfolds. But then, something cracked. The miracle machine began missing diagnoses, giving wrong suggestions. Confidence gave way to concern. Everyone believed. Hospitals integrated it. Doctors trusted it. Investors bet billions. Even patients started to rely on it. Behind the scenes, Watson wasn't learning from every hospital or every patient. It was trained on curated cases, mostly from a few elite institutions. But cancer isn't textbook. It's messy, complex, personal. So when real patients came in, Watson made confident, but sometimes dangerously wrong, recommendations. But not everything worked as expected. Sometimes, the AI misunderstood symptoms. It offered wrong suggestions, or missed critical signs, and patients suffered. Hospitals became cautious. Doctors disillusioned. Patients confused and betrayed. What began as hope now felt like a breach of trust. If you're finding this story thought-provoking, hit subscribe for more eye-opening insights. There's more to come. The promise was pure, but the cost was human. Lives lost, trust broken, and the silence in hospital corridors was louder than ever. The headlines changed. Doctors raised concerns. Experts questioned the hype. Patients demanded answers. MD Anderson invested over $60 million and ultimately stepped away. Hospitals overseas raised early concerns about the recommendations. Even IBM chose to pause, rethink, and recalibrate. What began as a bold vision to beat cancer ended not in failure, but in hard-earned lessons for the entire industry. The questions grew louder. Who was responsible? Was it the engineers or the hospitals? The vendors or the visionaries? But beneath the blame game, one truth stood tall. We failed to ask, was it ready for real lives? Amidst the damage, a quiet realization began to emerge. This wasn't just about failure, it was about responsibility. Doctors, technologists, and leaders came together, not to abandon AI, but to rebuild trust with care. At its center, it wasn't just the AI that failed. It was the assumptions, the blind spots, the silence in the boardroom when questions should have been asked. Watson didn't fall short because of bad code, it fell short because of leadership gaps. No guardrails. No real-world feedback loops. No plan for what happens when algorithms meet messy, human reality. This wasn't just a technological breakdown. It was an operational one. And it starts at the top. There was no shortage of intelligence in the room. But sometimes, intelligence alone isn't enough. What was missing was reflection. Too much faith was placed in the algorithm, without enough scrutiny of how, or what, it was truly learning. Watson was trained on data from elite hospitals. But real patients aren't always textbook cases. One day, a doctor faced a patient whose symptoms didn't match any pattern in the system, and the AI faltered. A misdiagnosis isn't just a statistic, it's a life altered, a family affected. What if we had approached this differently? What if the CIO had built a real-world feedback loop? One where frontline doctors and nurses could correct the AI and help it grow smarter every day? What if pilot programs had focused on outliers, on edge cases? The very patients who fall through the cracks? What if we had challenged our own assumptions? Questioned whether the technology was truly ready? Instead of believing simply because we wanted to believe. AI isn't magic. It's pattern recognition, statistical probability. But it only gets smarter when learning is grounded in diverse, real experiences. This wasn't a failure of individuals. It was a missed opportunity to build the right system, with the right questions, at the right time. Innovation demands humility and a willingness to adapt. Had we gotten it right, Watson might have been more than a headline. It could have rewritten what's possible for patients everywhere. Let's remember, AI is a tool. Its power comes not from its code, but from the people and practices that guide its growth. The next breakthrough starts not with answers, but with better questions. 5 lessons every CIO must remember. Lesson 1. AI is not plug and play. AI needs time to learn. Early outputs are often naive, not because the system is broken, but because it hasn't seen enough real-world variation. Deploying AI without a validation phase is like sending a rookie into surgery. Early results should be monitored, not trusted blindly. Lesson 2. Training must be ongoing. Launch is not the end, it's the beginning of a long learning journey. AI must evolve through actual cases, feedback loops, and structured retraining. Without active upkeep, AI becomes outdated, a static model in a dynamic world. Lesson 3. A global data strategy must come first. Watson didn't just need access to data, it needed the right kind of data, from all over the world. A project of this scale should have planned for 5 to 6 years of ethical data collection across hospitals, countries, and care systems. It's not just about scale, it's about representation, governance, and consent. Lesson 4. Real learning comes from every layer of care. AI trained only on data from top hospitals can't serve the world. It must learn from rural clinics, overburdened nurses, and underserved communities. If it can't support a frontline doctor with limited tools, it's not ready. Lesson 5. Human feedback makes AI trustworthy. AI becomes powerful only when it learns, and it learns best from people, not just patterns. Doctors, nurses, and patients must be part of the loop, not just as testers, but as co-teachers. Feedback isn't just about model accuracy, it's about trust. Final thought. A visionary AI project doesn't just launch with ambition. It plans for training. It invests in data. It learns from diversity. And it listens, always, to the humans it was built to serve. 5 more lessons CIOs can't ignore. Lesson 6. Building healthcare AI isn't a solo sport. It takes doctors, data scientists, ethicists, all in the same room, asking tough questions, together. Lesson 7. Every dataset has bias. The question isn't whether bias exists, but whether we're measuring it, and whether we're ready to confront it. Lesson 8. AI doesn't fix broken systems, it amplifies them. If your workflow is chaotic, your AI will be too. Lesson 9. Don't scale based on headlines. Scale only after the AI has proven itself in the toughest conditions. Lesson 10. Doctors and nurses aren't just users, they're co-designers. Empower them, and your AI will earn its place. In the end, the success of AI in healthcare won't be defined by code, it'll be defined by collaboration, humility, and listening. Watson for Oncology wasn't a cautionary tale about technology. It was a wake-up call about leadership. If you're a CIO leading digital transformation, here's your real-world playbook for AI success. Play number 1. Build with diverse, real-world data, not just expert-curated sets. Because AI trained only on clean, narrow data will break in the wild. Play number 2. Bake feedback into the system. Doctors, nurses, users, their input must guide the model in real time. Play number 3. Validate visibly. Don't hide behind black boxes. Set transparent performance benchmarks, and make them public. Play number 4. Keep the learning continuous. The real world doesn't freeze, your AI shouldn't either. Play number 5. Involve end users from day one. The best AI is co-designed with the people it serves. Play number 6. Lead with skepticism, not hype. Don't be the CIO who sold a story. Be the one who delivered impact. Watson didn't fail alone. It failed with us. But with the right playbook, the next chapter can be different. Playbooks help, but leadership transforms. In every failed AI project, there's a moment that defines its future. Not when the model fails, but when leaders realize why it failed and what they'll do differently next time. Watson didn't just test the limits of technology. It tested the limits of vision, humility, and responsibility. And that test is still ongoing. The question that defines a CIO's legacy isn't, did you deploy AI? It's, when AI struggled, did your leadership rise? Because models don't fail in silence. They fail in meetings, in hospitals, in boardrooms. And how leaders respond. That's where transformation either takes root or fades. Every postmortem reveals more than failure. It reveals patterns, blind spots, and opportunities to lead differently. True leadership isn't just fixing what's broken. It's building systems that don't break the same way twice. The future won't wait for perfect AI. But it will reward those who learn faster than the last failure. Leadership after failure isn't just reflection. It's reinvention. CIOs can't just guide AI projects. They must reimagine them. Not as tech initiatives, but as accountability frameworks. Where failure becomes fuel. And every model trains leadership as much as data. Watson taught us what not to do. Now it's time to define what we will. What if success in AI isn't just accuracy? What if it's trust? Adaptability? Impact? Watson's failure wasn't just technical. It failed to redefine success before it failed to deliver results. We don't just need better models. We need better mandates. Where success isn't just machine performance, but human alignment, executive courage, and ethical clarity. Because the next Watson won't fail the same way. It'll fail differently, unless we lead differently. True AI success isn't built in code. It's built in conviction. From those willing to ask harder questions and demand better answers. This is CIO Whisper. The future's moving fast. Subscribe for future-proof insights or get left behind. CIO Whisper.